There is no one way to live your life. And on one hand, you need to live in the moment. On the other hand, getting caught up on trivial matters without looking at the bigger picture can lead to some decisions that you may regret on your deathbed. In this video, we're going to look at the data collected and see what are the most common regrets that people have when they're on their deathbed, and hopefully we can learn from them. Before we begin, we post death and dying related videos every Friday, so if that sounds like your kind of thing, consider subscribing to the channel. Now let's talk end of life regrets. Not living true to themselves. Many people reach end of life and realize they never truly lived for themselves. They lived according to what was expected by family, by society, or by fear. Dreams were shelved, passions ignored, and personal truths buried beneath years of obligation and doubt. The most painful part is that these missed opportunities were often the result of choices they didn't make, chances they didn't take, or a life lived in someone else's shadow. Working too much. This regret has echoed through nearly every conversation I've had with someone on their bedside. People, especially men from an older generation, spoke with sadness about the years they lost to work. They missed out on their children's childhoods, on time with their partner, and on the simple joy of being present. Many had, in the moment, felt work was better than dealing with the reality of home. Some realized too late that by doing so, they lost time and that connection with their loved ones that they couldn't get back. Not expressing their feelings. So many people regretted not saying what needed to be said. They kept their feelings bottled up to keep the peace and avoid conflict. But in the end, what mattered the most was honesty. Telling someone they loved them, apologizing, setting a boundary, or speaking their truth. By suppressing their emotions, they often settled for less than they deserved and missed the chance to deepen or heal important relationships. Losing touch with friends. Friendships that once brought so much joy had been lost to time, busyness, or neglect. As the end draws near, many people long for the laughter, memories, and connection of those old friendships. They realized too late how precious those bonds were. The regret wasn't just about lost time, it was about not reaching out, not staying in touch, and not making the effort to hold on to the people who mattered, not allowing themselves to be happier. This regret surprises many. People admitted that they spent their lives stuck in habits, roles, or attitudes that kept them from real joy. They had told themselves happiness was something that should be earned or waited for after success, retirement, after things settled down. But happiness, they discovered too late, is a choice. It is something you create by letting go of fear, embracing silliness, allowing joy, and choosing to live more lightly. Many have said that they stayed in that emotional pattern that felt familiar but kept them small. Not being more loving. There is often a deep sorrow from people who feel they have not been as kind, present, or loving to the people who meant the most to them. They wish they had said "I love you" more often, shown more understanding, or been gentler with those closest to them. These are often quiet regrets, spoken through tears and filled with the longing for another chance to be a better partner, parent, child, or friend. Not being a better person. Even those in strained family relationships often feel remorse for taking their families for granted. They recognize now, in the end, it was their family who stood by them, offering love, care, and the presence in their final moments. They wish they had expressed gratitude more often and nurtured those bonds more intentionally. Not taking more risks. A fear of failure held many people back. They played it safe, stuck to what was familiar, and avoided change. Looking back, they saw how that fear cost them rich, meaningful experiences. They wished they had disturbed the status quo, tried something new, and dared to live more boldly. Many described their lives as small and boring when they longed for something expansive and brave. Worrying too much. So much time has been lost to worry. People regretted the energy spent stressing over things they couldn't control or events that never actually happened. They realized they had missed out on being present in the moment by constantly living in a state of anxiety, and they wished they had trusted more, laughed more, and let go of what didn't truly matter. Not living their dream. Many carried a quiet grief for the dream they never pursued. Whether it was writing a book, starting a business, traveling the world, or simply living differently, they often admit they didn't try because they feared failure or judgment. They had followed someone else's script instead of writing their own story. The result was a deep sense of unfulfillment that only surfaced once time ran out. Not taking care of their health. People often speak about how they had ignored their health, pushing through burnout, eating poorly, not resting enough, not getting that lump checked. Some wondered if they would have lived longer had they treated their body with more care. Others simply wished they had enjoyed the feeling of being well when they had the chance. Health is one of those things that is rarely appreciated until it begins to fade. Not doing more for others. Near the end, many people wish they had lived a life of greater kindness and generosity. They wanted to have made more of a difference, to leave something more meaningful behind. Some donate to charity from their hospital beds. Others spoke about small acts of service they wish they had done more of. What they longed for was a legacy not built on success but on compassion. Not choosing more meaningful work. A surprising number of people regretted spending their lives in jobs they didn't enjoy. They had chosen security over purpose and stuck with roles that didn't reflect who they were. Near the end, they wished they had pursued work that had lit them up, something that aligned with their passions, their strengths, or deeper purpose. The paycheck wasn't what they remembered. What they missed was the feeling of doing something that mattered. It will be interesting to see in the future if these common regrets will be any different, or there are any different points that come up with different generations when their majority starts dying off. This is your reminder to look at the bigger picture in your life rather than the trivial moments, and try your best to live a life leaving no regrets behind. And with that, go talk death.